This is an old Swedish national test from 2008, and it's the equivalent to today's D paper, and this is the first half of the paper, the first 7 questions. What we've got is a bar of chocolate, and we know that this bar of chocolate weighs 180 grams, and in it has 36 squares. And the first question was, how much cocoa is there in this bar of chocolate if it's 70% cocoa? So we know the percentage of cocoa, but we'd like to know the weight of cocoa. Well, so what we need to just calculate is 70% of the whole weight of the bar, 180 grams. So what we need to do is calculate the 70%, calculate 70% of the whole bar of chocolate. So the whole bar weighs 180 grams, but only 70% of it is chocolate. The other could be, there'll be milk and fat and butter and sugar and all these other things in. So this is nice and easy. We just take 0.7 times 180, giving us 126 grams of cocoa as our answer. So we just take 0.7 times 180, gives us 126 grams of cocoa. Then the next question is, okay, this bar of chocolate that weighs 180 grams has 36 squares. They'd like to know how many squares would we need to use for 120 grams. Well, we could first work out how many squares would there be in 1 gram by dividing both sides by 180. So 1 gram would have 36 divided by 180. Now we know how much of a part of a square 1 gram is. We can then go to 120 grams by multiplying by 120 on both sides. So 120 grams would be 36 divided by 180 times 120. This is what 1 gram would weigh. How much of 1 gram would be of a whole square, and then multiply that by 120. And when you do that, you get the answer of 24 squares. That's one way of doing it, and that's the way that we often go with percentages as well. But if we'd like to think of an algebra way of doing it, the weight of the chocolate bar, let's call that W. The weight of, or let's call that C. The chocolate bar, the weight of the chocolate bar, is going to be the weight of 1 square multiplied by the number of squares we have. So what do we know then? Well, we know that the weight of the chocolate bar is 180 grams, and we don't know the weight of 1 square, but we do know that there are 36 squares. So we can get actually a little formula for here for the weight of 1 square. So the weight of 1 square is 180 divided by 36, which is 5 grams. Now we know that the weight of 1 square is 5 grams. So now using we can get the number of squares, which is S. So that's for 180 grams. For 120 grams, it's the same formula, that the number of squares, using our algebra skills, just take the weight of the chocolate bar divided by the weight of 1 square, is going to be 120 divided by the weight of 1 square, 5, which is also going to give us 24. So here we're just using this formula. The number of squares is the weight of the chocolate bar, which is now 120, divided by the weight of what 1 square is, which is 5, giving you 24. So both of the methods give you 24, and they're both equivalent to one another, I would say. Okay, then we have a comparison price. where we have that Anton is choosing between two different bars of chocolate. One bar, it weighs 150 grams and costs 12 kroners. And the other bar, it's a little bit larger, it weighs 250 grams and costs 19 kroners. So bar A and bar B. And the way to get a kilo price for anything is kilo price or volume price, it doesn't matter which one, is going to be the actual price you pay divided by the weight of whatever you're buying in kilos. Always. So let's convert this weight to kilos directly. Equals 0.15 of a kilo. Let's convert this weight directly to kilos. Equals 0.25 of a kilo. So the price for chocolate A is going to be 12 divided by 0.15. And the price for chocolate B is going to be the price you pay, which is 19 divided by the weight in kilos, 0.25. For this one then, you get 80 kroners per kilo. The price is 80 kroners for a whole kilo. And for this one, 19 divided by a quarter is the same as 19 times 4, 76 kroners per kilo. So now you've worked out your answer, don't forget to actually answer the final question. So which one is cheaper? Chocolate bar B is only 76 kroners per kilo, and that is the cheaper bar of chocolate. So the question says, which one has the lowest kilo price? Bar B has the lowest kilo price.